Good morning. You're welcome to another beautiful edition of the show. The show is Bumper Breakfast. My name is Yinka Kenny. Well, it's good to say that election campaign officially already flagged off yesterday, and we have started hearing all most of the uh, candidates are saying one thing or the other. And the ones that are so prominent in the faces of the people are also talking. We heard statements from the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday. He had something to tell to Nigerians. Also, the PDP presidential candidate Atiku had something to say. The same manner Peter Obi of Labour Party. Well, the race has started. Who is going to emerge the winner of the race come 2023 February? That is something to keep our fingers crossed about. And what will I say this morning? It's just that as candidates of various parties, we just cannot but employ the candidates to condone themselves well and make sure be a part of the fact be a contribution to a peaceful election in the coming year. So much expectations from Nigerians far and near, home and abroad. People are expecting so much from the candidates, and we cannot but say that we expect there should be decorum, there should be peace, there should be serenity. I must say at this point in time that honestly we have interesting times ahead of every one of us. As we talk in the same manner, while we talk to the candidates, the politicians, we will also talk to everyone out there to also condone themselves well. As you go out to begin to campaign for your candidate, do it in a civil way, because I do not agree with you concerning your chosen candidate. Doesn't mean that we should fight about it. It doesn't mean that we should be at war with each other. We should try to conduct ourselves well while we all campaign for our preferred candidates. Also, I know that INEC is on their toe, because right now we can say that it is on your mark for INEC. And I know they are doing everything so that Nigerians home and abroad will see that yes, we are in for a new time and a better time. And I want to believe that come 2023, the Inspector General of the Nigeria has said it for the upton time that there is no cause for alarm, and we want to believe that there would be peace in the land. However, all I want to say this morning is that let us all, as a people, collectively condone ourselves right, condone ourselves peacefully as we go on with all of the campaigns. We cannot but just wish all of the candidates best of luck, and have at the back of your mind that this is a race. We all cannot win in a race. It's a game. Everybody cannot be winners, but then we can lose gallantly. We can lose, with pride. We can lose sensibly, but it's a game. One person must emerge as the winner. On this note, I want to introduce the elder statesman I have with me in the studio this morning, analyzing the papers with me, Mr. Akin Fatunke. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rennie. Say good morning to Nigerians. You said the political campaign started. Yes, I think I would like to borrow the term cliche to say the political hustling has started. Usually there is de facto nothing that can be done to us play into the gutter, do the gutter politics, and abuse and all insults on one another. What I am with you on all fours, telling that we need to bring some decency into
politicking,
because tomorrow is going to be another day. Winners, hopefully when they emerge, will be magnanimous, and then losers will be in such a comfort that we will not, at the end of the day, be looking for jugular. There is a prayer that is going on right now, and that is in the thought of right-thinking Nigerians as I speak. There has never been any election period, large as we are expecting late February 2023, or as minute as ward elections to local government, that we have not seen spilling of blood. And that does not augur well. And so, if I look back into history and I do a projection based on the fault lines that are already showing themselves out in public space there, I would then say there, gently. Kadan kada, as my northern
Brothers will say.
you know, and at the end of the day, Nigeria has to continue, albeit under justice, fairness, and equity. Thank you for having me here.
A great pleasure to have you in the studio this morning. This morning, right now, we will move straight to the stories that made their way to the front page of the front pages of the national dailies this morning. And I'm starting with Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune is coming with, like, is expected, of all the papers this morning. I want to believe that every of the papers, every of the new dailies today will have we have their front cover political stories to talk about. They have one thing or the other to bring out from what went down yesterday. Like I said when I started the show, the game has just begun. All right, Nigerian Tribune this morning has the lead story, how I plan to rebuild Nigeria. That's from the PDP presidential candidate Atiku, and the writers are urges PDP faithful to come together for the task ahead. Inaugurates presidential campaign council. Launches 3-box. Atiku's policy document roadmap to nation's success. That's Okowa talking there. And the big one, Makinde Wike autumn. Others absent. Well, nobody has said anything or given any reason why they were absent at that meeting. Just speculations flying here and there. And the NEC member alleges plots to destabilize PDP, sabotage Atiku. 2 feared dead killed as RTEAN factions clash in Lagos. And Kogi flood displaced 50,000 lawmakers, says. Kogi flood displaced 50,000. That's a statement from one of our lawmakers. And building collapses in Ondo, kills 52-year-old carpenter. Gunmen kill DCO, suspect in Oyo police station attack. Kill 5 soldiers, one other in Anambra. Kidnap, kill elder son of Bauchi assembly member. Warlords abduct, kill Okada rider in Kogi. NRC lost 531 million naira in 6 months to Abuja Kaduna train shut down. That's coming from the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. That's the NRC. Court stops LP supporters from holding October 1 rally at Lekki Toll Gate. And Lawan loses as court affirms Machina APC candidate for Yobe North. We have been vindicated. That's coming from INEC. And below the nameplate of the Nigerian Tribune, we have Akeredolu faults presidency over claim on approval of sophisticated weapons. Obasanjo to religious leaders: do not allow politicians to wreck Nigeria. And the statement from the APC presidential candidate this morning: I will campaign in every part of Nigeria. I think that is what is just expected of him to do. Well, a lot is being said. Then we'll talk about the statement, the disunity, some will I, if I'm permitted to use that word, in the house of the PDP, or probably let me for want of a more mild word, let me use disorderliness. Will I say disorderliness? Because you find out a lot of the stakeholders were much absent in that meeting. What do you think about all of this, and what what is this, does this portray to the average Nigerian out there?
Well, what it portrays is, to quote the French Revolution, the Bourbons of France, who have learned nothing and have also forgotten nothing. It therefore means that this kind of situation has arisen before. Over time, I remember the great sage Babafemi Awolowo at one point in time used the phrase that it becomes a battle of long nights. It was much more accentuated at the last elections, thereabout, general elections, that pitched APC against PDP. That was when Goodluck Jonathan, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, was looking for a second term. Listeners will remember the group of 9 governors against the others, and they virtually walked out. The rest, like they say, is history. There is no gainsaying the fact that there is a bit of shaking in the PDP house. How this is going to play out as we move towards the elections, might be some undercurrents will still happen, maybe some kind of reconciliation is still going to happen, but I dare say it's getting rather too late. We must balance it and say that it may not necessarily be uhuru even for the APC. There are issues still surrounding the campaign, setting out on time.
Yeah, that's another one. The campaign inauguration has been postponed
Yes.
indefinitely.
Because the National Working Committee has said that they needed to lead from the front. With the Peter Obi, LP, and the Obedient on course. Again, there are also fetters here, right there. The other minor parties also have fetters in terms of the capacity to come out and tell us what is going to, what they are going to do different.
The manifesto.
Clearly, for the very first time, we see a three-horse race between the PDP, between
The APC and the Labour Party.
and the Labour Party, while others take their turns to either align, merge, collaborate.
Do you still feel you're still going to have some alignment, some emerging, and all of that?
I will still not be surprised. I hope I'm proving wrong. That even within the first three,
It seems to be that's a norm.
even within the first three, if we now seem to go
Really?
into a kind of a runoff, naturally there will be alignment and realignment. But I am very hopeful that the way things are, clear cut, the undecided voters are about now coming up to take their position. Let's know what we are bringing into the table. So, the long and short of what I'm saying, Kenny, and to Nigerians, is that for each, we have the Achilles heel. By that I mean one thing not working out well in terms of coloration. How this is now going to be obtuse, erased, to give a cohesive capacity for us to have one man, one vote. Don't forget, the other reason why people will say, I am not joining you, I'm talking about the big men, they are
Yes.
meeting in London. Again, I always ask, why should one big man be able to decide for multitudes? Do we still really have a one man, one vote kind of situation? Do we still have big men influencing, the outcome? Are we having electorates who can take a decision and take that decision on their own and then it comes? Or do we still have this, alliance to tribe, alliance to religion, alliance to base sentiments? Even if it is the devil, I rather want to go with that devil if it's coming from my backyard. I don't think we have reached that stage of maturity. And the more reason why courage, competence, capacity, consciousness of the fact that it should not be me, mine, it should be others and theirs that should be the deciding factor for the electorates. PDP, I cannot understand, I cannot appreciate that PDP will be coming to these elections is divided, because I think we need them. We need very strong opposition. We need to get a PDP that can put the legs of the APC on fire. The Labour seems to be a force to reckon with.
To reckon with.
And vice versa, to put their legs on fire so we are able to get a cohesive, comprehensive, all-inclusive nation builders. That is what I will.
Okay, quickly, I would like you to react to the court ordering that there should be no convergence at the Lekki toll gate by the supporters of the Peter Obi, the Labour Party. Now, I want to believe that a lot of people are not really getting it right, in the sense that what I hear outside there is people saying that they have been told not to go for the rally. But actually what the court is saying, yes, you can have a rally, but they do not want a convergence at that Lekki toll gate. You want to move on to Falomo, yes, walk past to move on to Falomo, but then no convergence. But then people have been going about saying that, well, it seems to be as if they are trying to stop the move of the Labour Party, or maybe some sabotage is going to happen here, and back and forth. But I think what the court is trying to guard against is a repetition, or so to speak, an anniversary of the NSAS that we had that didn't come up well.
Clearly is the reason why I say it's now a hustling, a hustle period rather than campaign. People will turn red into black into represent and what have you. You are so correct that the court in its wisdom is not stopping the Labour Party. Do your campaign. The court in its wisdom has foreseen situations where centrifugal forces might come in terms of the NSAS or no NSAS. And by the way, perception, albeit political, is the fact that Peter Obi represents, a wing of the NSAS because of the youth thing. And so if the court has now said, please go ahead and do your campaigns, go ahead and pass through the toll gate, I think that is should be common understanding.
Exactly.
Like I said, people will now take it. What you are going to begin to hear now is that they prevent us from doing a fundamental human right. Rule of law and discipline needs to be observed. And we must not in any way denigrate our courts. Our courts and law are sacrosanct. It's not as if they cannot make a mistake. If you have any problems with any pronouncement by any judge in our courts, you will make an appeal.
Appeal,
But
exactly.
do not take the law into your hands and begin to misinterpret, begin to turn things upside down. Peaceful is what we really need to have. Emotional intelligence, common sense, and the fact that we are all adults. If we are going to, at least from 18 years and above, we should have our thinking caps on to now then say, if they say certain things should not happen, please let's respect.
Let's comply.
Because if you don't comply, you might be injuring your overall interest.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Yes, Tomisi joins us in the studio this morning. Good morning, Tomisi.
Good morning. I love exactly where I met the conversation. Nice to see you this morning wearing Ankara with me. I was expecting that maybe you're not going to do the Ankara thing.
Can you imagine? Can you just imagine?
And Mr. Batuke, always a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
I wanted to comment about that briefly. The interpretation that people give legal judgments, as it were, in recent times, is becoming rather worrisome. When the court said, "Don't converge," it seemed to,
A lot of people
that the court is just trying to stop them, or the government is just trying to stop. But then people do not necessarily appreciate the fact that people living in that axis have rights.
Exactly.
Rights to converge, rights to their movement, rights to go out and come in. You can do a rally past, there was a rally at the Eagle Square, there was a rally at the Unity Fountain. You can go to specific spots
Exactly.
to do a rally. You can actually move.
Not on a major highway.
And if you want to be on a major highway, due to antecedents, it shows that there is likelihood to be breakdown of either law and order, the disturbance that you would form. It's like the other day that students went and formed a barricade on the
Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Even the airport road. The airport road. And people were saying, okay, let them disturb other people, maybe then they will take them more seriously. And I asked the question, now, that was just prelude to the judgment of the National Industrial Court. Did that match? Did that blockade of the expressway leading to the airport, did it change anything? It didn't change whatever the court was going to do.
Exactly.
And at the same time, that matter is still before the court as we speak. The government, the court have said, and ASU has still refused to go back to work. So why are the students not going to ASU office or ASU, or even the National Industrial Court itself, to say they've refused to go back to work? Why isn't anybody, doing the reverse? Now you blocked the way to the airport road in Lagos, and then just on that same day, the judgment was released or was given. They said they were going to block the one going to the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja.
In Abuja, yes.
The other day on social media as well, we said we're going to look at that story with the NDLEA boss next week. But on social media as of yesterday, a story was trending. NDLEA, as usual, destroyed packs of cocaine, wraps of cocaine, burnt it, and made a spectacle of what it was they were doing. And youths went on social media, popular ones at that, to say they're destroying evidence. Isn't that line of thought rather worrisome? Aren't you bothered? As an elder statesman, what does that tell you about the psyche and about the kind of propaganda or the kind of information being spread on social media, since it seems to be where everybody goes for their news today?
It's
pure and simple. It's confusion, breakable, yepa, and kefe. In our song, talked about that anything you do, then you complain. If you fart, then you complain. If you think, you complain. If you do comply with the law, then you complain. If you don't comply with the law, you complain. If you destroy, you complain. There is one other one that even says, I'm surprised that perhaps Tony Singh haven't had, that those cocaine, those hard drugs will be turned around. There are jurisdictions that kind of warn them, now that we are having dwindling revenue, why don't you find
Oh, I think that's been on since some time.
breaking some of the logic overhead, because we know that we have a very porous system. But the truth into all this is that a leader is not a popular jingle. It's only going to be fair, it's going to be very decisive, and it's going to be somebody that will be able to show example with some kind of compassion. Kagame is not a Democrat by all stretch of imagination, but Kagame tends to want to be fair. Example is the legislation to do with, we have all comers here. Somebody will say, you come and take water, you go to heaven and all that kind of stuff, and people are scamming and in the name of religion. Well, they say, look, before you want to practice or solicit your religion, there are certain criteria that must be met. And those criteria will be such that if you don't meet up with them, I'm sorry, call me a totalitarian. It will not happen in our jurisdiction. You know, the students are doing some of those things they are doing because they see that even right out there at the top two, usually they don't comply with. They pick and choose, and sometimes they are unfair. I mean, I say, may God bless the soul of the gentleman who was going to come on the day the blockade was, and they wanted to go to the general hospital all the way from Ajao Estate. And then, of course, the students were there. No, you're not. Maybe you even had a video clip. It said, they are the ones that have the means to go to travel abroad. Let them walk and stuff like that. Unknown to one of the guys that was doing that was that the ambulance that was coming was carrying a very close relative. Of course, joins, lock them and stuff like that. That relative, before they could go and make a
U-turn and find a way past
give
on.
up the ghost. Trust that has been in deficit is really the vein. When we lead, we must lead very well. And when we follow, we must also find a way to make sure that we
Follow responsibly.
and go through those due process. On this, ASU, federal government, they have what we call faults of operating under fault lines. But if the arbiter has now then come and said, please, let's comply, and you now then say you don't want to comply, I think it's worrisome. Thomas Cosner and another statement. My advice would be, please, let's as much as possible go through the process. If you are dissatisfied with certain things, comply first. Or you can go and do a stay of execution. Stay of execution, and then see how we, rather than burn the whole system.
Exactly.
And what is the real central message for those who rule us rather than lead us is the fact that people are not trusting you, people do not believe in you. Your popularity rating by some surveys says people believe more in their religious leaders, 48% of respondents, and about 26% say they believe in religious leaders. Another 26% say they believe in the judiciary. What kind of society will that be? Life will be British, will be nasty, will be short.
Okay,
See,
before
talking about ASU, there is a video that we had to put out yesterday. One of the presidential candidates in this upcoming election made a statement. And you know, Nigerians, I love the way Nigerians are now beginning to use social media. The bad part, the good part, everybody just digs out whatever they just digs out anything anyone is saying. I came across it on Twitter, and I had to ask myself, the question, did I just hear what I heard? But then maybe I'm just being biased, or maybe I'm just not intelligent enough to decipher between the lines and say exactly what he's saying. But then you are, like I said again, an elder statesman. You can explain to us exactly what is being said. If the video is ready, our director can just put it out there. And let's listen.
In all parts of Nigeria are your people. Those that are being kidnapped, killed, are your people. So you cannot stand and wait until it collapses. Those children who are supposed to be in university are not in school for 7 months are children of the church. And nobody cares about them. Those people who will keep quiet and they're stealing our oil are those that are elected. Every day you hear people are stealing oil. This is a job that requires physical and mental energy. And we must get it right. And that is what we're asking. The church must be at the forefront. Our children cannot continue like this. There's no offense they committed by being Nigerians. Nigerians are the best you can get in the world. And we have the energy to change this world. All we lack is that we have criminals who have hijacked this country, stealing everything away, and we are keeping quiet. Please, the church, wake up. Take back your country. God bless you.
Mr. Fatunke, you listen to that.
Yes, I listened to that.
How does it make you feel as a Nigerian, first of all, and maybe as an elder state man who has lived at least more than 6 decades in this country?
I will say, as an elder statesman, that Mr. Peter Obi should be forgiven. I think he should be forgiven because there are certain things that came out of that, and I can see the fervor, you know, the energy. We need to temper this energy in such a way that we don't put out statements out there that might cause more of division than cohesion. And as an elder statesman who has seen something similar to this before, you are going to get a counter from Murik. So Murik will now then come out and say, now this is now a religious
politicking process.
It is clear that those statements that were made, the church, take back
your country.
Take back your country.
Your children are the ones that are on strike.
You know, my question in all of this.
Take back your country, and all that being made in a church.
Addressing the preach.
I am a Christian. I don't think it's the best, but I've just said it. I have a large heart, and I think he should be forgiven. And I think Peter Obi should kind of be a bit much more careful so that he does not hurt his aspirations. That is an elder. I
want
even the youths can discern. Even if elders cannot see.
I actually
they cannot see visions. The youths
Twitter. And the youths are majority of the followers of Peter Obi. And on the instant when they saw that, majority of them are like, So are you saying that Muslims don't go to university? Are you saying that only Christians?
That was where that's where I'm coming to,
Kenny.
In the sense that I begin to wonder, as a presidential candidate now, you will go to some part of the state of the country rather, where you have other religion, dominant. What are you going to say to them? Now you will go to other people that are traditional worshippers thereabout. What will you say to them? Or will you say to them, okay, this message was for all those people. I bring you your own peculiar message. because I feel that, like he has said over and over again, that we should, and I said when I started the show, that the politicians at this time should politic responsibly, because this is, there are some statements that will get out there and cause
And
anarchy.
would never come back.
Exactly, and cause anarchy.
This
I begin to,
is
as
one
much
of
as
such.
I'm a Christian and you know, a very good one at that, when I listened to it, I think it came out 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I had to listen to it again,
Again.
and again.
And you know, I had to get the full version to make sure that I didn't get him out of context.
Exactly.
This is where experience.
But a lot of youths will not take it that way.
No,
Not
but then
even
some youths
so
do
a
take
lot
it that
of
way.
a lot of fanatics will even, you know, fight back about all of this. Yes.
And that is my worry. The fanatics will get on. The prostitutes who don't go to church or mosque will also get on.
The traditionalists.
Traditionalists will now then come into it. The gays and the LGBTI will now come into it. So at the end of the day, Obasanjo made a statement. And he has warned religious leaders. This proclivity for you to turn your domes into campaign
Ground.
should be watched. There are people who have gone to churches in times past. They are guided. There are people who have gone to mosque. They are guided. If you are not careful, we may turn this against ourselves. I love the energy of Mr. Peter Obi. I love the anger that he needs to want to change things. I love that. But there needs to be a bit of emotional intelligence to address the whole of Nigeria, unless if we are saying
Because
that what you
I'm
want
beginning to wonder, is Nigeria really a Christian country? Because I'm confused.
we are secular.
I'm telling you.
Because
secular.
we are
Are
coming.
we really secular? Mr. Matuke, what is the dominant religion in the Southwest? I believe it's traditional worship. And then we add the importation of the rest.
The statistics.
Look, Tommy,
Perhaps
even if we have a 1% of every other religion,
And that's what makes us
it
secular.
doesn't make them
We are
insignificant, and it
heterogeneous.
doesn't make the leader not to be conscious
And that's
about
why
them.
we are secular. That's why Nigeria cannot be judged by
Tomisi
the Bible
and Kenny.
or the Quran.
You know Peter Obi and the way he has spoken. Will say, well, what I'm just trying to do, therefore, is to counter.
Awaken the church.
No, is to counter force, because we have also seen clerics of the other religion propagate something similar at their ends. But two wrongs cannot make a right.
But we are talking about a
person who wants to be
presidential
a
candidate
leader.
now. That has to be a leader to all and sundry.
in the country.
Well, the perception now is that President Muhammadu Buhari, perception I said,
Yes.
tends more towards his own clan, his own tribe, by coloration. It's wrong. But mine is that if you are going to 2023, whatever has been done wrong yesterday and day before yesterday should not be what we should now be preaching. It needs emotional intelligence for you to be able to, because you went to Cairo the other day and then you are Gbada and stuff like that. Super. Will you at the Emir's palace now say, I want you Christians in Cairo to go and take back your country? You will say that. So it's the reason why I think, not just for Peter Obi, not just for Atiku, not just for Bola Tinubu, not for any other person. We need to be guided. We need to really be guided in what we say, to making sure. I haven't seen a presidential candidate yet. I hope I'm not giving them origin. I haven't seen him say, when I get in there, women are marginalized. You know, the physically challenged are marginalized. I am going to make sure that there's going to be full inclusion. They won't go and say that.
Well, I want to believe that more will still come
now.
out of this, and as it unfolds, well, we will see how it's going to pan out. I think we should quickly.
I pray we should forgive him. I I mean, I have decided to forgive the Labour candidate.
All right.
And we should.
And you think we should forgive him?
All right, Tommy,
Well,
say let's just run through the stories on the front pages of. I think
the Daily
we
Trust.
yes.
I like the story on the front page, the picture story on the front page of the Daily Trust, because then it tells me that Africa is similar country to country. The picture story of the Daily Trust newspaper, you can just see it. It's a well where a young lady is inside the well fetching water to feed the sheep. A young woman waters goat from a shallow well dug in a dry riverbed at Iliya Springs on the western shore of Lake Turkana in Turkana County. That's the picture story. Tells you what the rest of the world sees about Africa. Impoverished, downtrodden, abandoned, some people who do not have access to basic infrastructure.
Underdevelopment.
Underdeveloped.
And at the same time, a lot of wealth taken out by a few.
A few.
And then, pull the wool over their eyes with religion, with clan, and what have you. And so they decide that maybe it's a zoo. Okay, well, I shouldn't use the word
All
zoo.
right, Tommy,
That's the story that I want to share here. It's talking about the 2023 elections as the race to presidency amount to rescue Nigeria. Article says Wike Makinde, 3 PDP governors absent at the campaign launch. There was a 600-man campaign.
Yeah, we actually talked about that
yesterday. All right, let's look at YAGA Africa. The Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement, YAGA, has advised youths to get their permanent voters' cards in order to cast their votes, noting that no one is too young to participate in politics. In the press briefing signed by the executives, the newly elected executives and leadership of the Not Too Young to Run Lagos State chapter, they stated that there is no excuse for youths not to participate in the election processes, advising them to exercise their civil rights and not stay in a place where they will be disenfranchised. The non-partisan group said that the election campaigns gives the opportunity to draw and plan for the future, encourage competence, accountability, and capability, adding that peaceful coexistence must be realized. The Welfare Secretary also advised women to participate in politics by voting during the election. So everybody must be involved as the campaigns have begun yesterday. Let's take a quick look at what they said there, and of course, whether youths want to take back the country.
We will not achieve this by blackmailing and cyber bullying. We will achieve this by constitutionally contesting for elections or throwing our support for those who have the capacity, knowledge, and experience to run the affairs of this nation. We will individually throw our support for leaders who have track records of good governance and accountability. Our duties as youth are not to fight our leaders based on age, tribe, and religion. We should confront them based on competence, accountability, and sustainability, which is the brainbox of fighting corruption, job creation, security of lives and property, and as well infrastructural development.
It is done on us as a young person to now galvanize our interest and ensure that we collaborate in ensuring that this election make a very big statement in the history of Nigeria. And how do we make this history? Is by us identifying with all the strength that we needed to identify with. It is for us as a young person to now bring together our interest. If you are running an individual interest, you will not be able to achieve what we want to achieve.
We want to encourage the young people, especially the youths, to get involved in the coming elections. Now we are aware that in all the local governments, PVCs are being distributed. People are going there to collect their PVC. We would encourage them to ensure they go and get their PVCs.
Any young girl that is above 18 years that has their PVC should be bold enough to go and vote. It is time. YAGA is organizing a program right now, currently ongoing, for young persons in politics, young women in politics. This is encouraging young, that's why we call ourselves Not Too Young to Run, young people to participate in politics. So be bold, take a bold step. You have great potential. Every young woman out there, this is an opportunity for you to show that you are worth it. Go out, cast your vote, and do the needful.
Music is fuel that fires up our souls. Today, African music has a dominant place on the world map. This massive music movement creating waves across the globe.
I have seen the evolution and the growth of this industry.
But every movement starts with a story. And the best place to start any story is at the very beginning.
There's a primordial energy that can only have come from Africa.
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win.
We got an emergency, girlfriend.
Keep up with me, come on, let's all keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get in. I'ma keep winning till the world stops.
Wow, you look great. Did you just come from the salon?
Darling Superstar, braids that stay salon fresh no matter what.
The Zenith Better Life promo is back, and it's bigger and better. You could be one of 20 lucky customers to win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from now till January 31st, 2023. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum balance of 5,000 naira. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back. Yes, good to know that the youth, they are beginning to take the bull by the horn, if I can say that.
My only problem is the fraction of youths who know what they're doing are very little, because the rest of them are not interested in education.
No, but tell me something.
Political education. Being social media savvy, having the opportunity to use social media is not, automatic.
Well, let's say that we will start. We're starting from somewhere. Exactly. It's better to start from somewhere than not to start at all. All right, on this note, we want to wrap the segment of the show. We say a big thank you to the elder statesman, according to Tommy saying, Mr. Akin Fatunke. Thank you for being our guest this morning.
Thank you very much. And the youths that are aspiring to be elders, please, let's listen both of us.
To the elders.
To the elders, yes. And then get your PVC. Don't play football on the street on that day. Cast your vote. Support your vote. Get political education. And any other person that you see that is talking about hotlines, you'll be the champion to say, hey, you're all of one kingdom. And Nigeria's sun is going to rise again. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very, very much. Well, they say in the midst of the inflation and things being so hard, investments could be so difficult. But then some people are saying there's a way you can go about it. Little drops of water makes an ocean. Talking about real estate. We go on a short break. When we return, Bumper Breakfast continues. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.